Hello and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I've been wanting to do YouTube since I was a little girl, and I started my book talk at the beginning of this month, and it's going well for me. I'm enjoying it, and I thought, why not branch off into YouTube too? So the first video I am doing today is my January wrap up, and I'm super excited to talk about all the books that I read. I felt that this was a good long form YouTube type video because I could do this on TikTok, but I'm a yapper and I'm gonna want to yap and I want to start YouTube. So that's what I'm doing today. It's going to be my wrap up. Along of the day, unpopular opinion, I don't really love pink slush. I know everyone does, but it's all I have right now, and it's good. It's just not like great. Okay, this was a really good reading month for me. I was really just loving reading. Typically happens at the beginning of the year. It's new goals, new books, and it's just the motivation's really there. So this month I read a total of 10 books. One of them, which I'll get to, I'm going to finish today or tomorrow, so I'm counting it in this. It's also a reread, so I kind of know how I feel about it already, so I'm gonna include it in this even though I haven't technically finished it this month yet. But I will, because it is the 29th when I'm filming this. So let's get into it. Before we get into it, actually, let me address something. My nails, okay? You might not be able to tell, but I can, and it's gonna bother me, and if I don't address it, okay. I did gel manicure for the first time at my house by myself. Usually I go to the nail salon, but I'm broke. I can't do that anymore. So I did it, and for some reason, only this hand, they all fell off. This one's intact, this one's not, and I'm too lazy to do it right now. So if you notice that, which you can't really tell, don't bring it up. Let's get into it. The first book that I read in January of 2026 was The Midnight Library, and I was so excited to get this book. It's been on my radar for so long. I see people talking about it all the time, and it's definitely like leaning towards the genres that I'm trying to explore this year. I'm heavily a romance reader, but I really want to branch into literary fiction, dabble in some fantasy, which has always intimidated me. And I felt that this was a good way to start. This book follows Nora, and she is having a rough time. You know, things aren't going too well in her life, and she comes across the Midnight Library. And in this library, you get to experience different, ways your life could have gone. So each book that you pick up is going to be a different version of your life and how that would have gone for you. And that's all I'm gonna really say. I feel like a lot of these books I want to give a brief synopsis, but I always love going into my books blind for the most part because I just think it makes the experience so much better. So I'll give short synopsises enough to hook you and convince you to read them. But this book was so beautiful. There were so many good quotes in it, and I just think the story was beautiful and kind of just don't take for granted the life you have. As humans, we're always like, oh, I wish this went differently. I wish we were doing this. I wish we had this. All these things that we wish we had, we're never in the moment appreciating what we do have. And I feel like this book does a good job of encapsulating that. And it was just really good, really fast paced. I rated it 4 stars, and I would really recommend it. The second book I read in January was A Man Called Ove. This is my first Frederick Bachman book, and me and my boyfriend Buddy read this together and watched the movie as well after we read it. This book I rated 4 stars, and it was really good. A really good introduction to Frederick Bachman, I think. Definitely an author I want to read more from. And it just follows this grumpy old man named Ove. Throughout the story, we get to know who he is as a character, why he is the way he is, and how much he affects the community around him. And he is relied on by so many people despite feeling otherwise. And it's just really beautiful to watch him, realize he has a purpose in this world and he is loved and appreciated by others. And it's just so adorable, heartbreaking, pure. I don't know, there's so many emotions involved in this book, and I really loved it. And I love Frederick Bachman's writing. It's just, he's so quotable. There are so many like beautiful statements he makes in here, and in another book by him, which I will talk about eventually. He just like really knows how to tug on the heartstrings a little, and also like explain great themes and tell an amazing story. And I just thought this was a really good book. So yeah, 4 stars. Next book I read is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This one I thought was my first Riley Sager book, but I remember that I did read A House Across the Lake, and I don't think I loved it. I don't remember the plot at all, but I know I read it, didn't love it. This one I've heard good things about for quite some time now, and again, my boyfriend and I are working on reading together, and it's his first step into reading, and I thought thrillers would be good, and this one sounded interesting. This book follows Kit, and it takes place in the late 1920s, and she becomes this caretaker for this woman named Lenora, who allegedly killed her whole family. And it's the big talk around the town, and it's years later, and she needs a caretaker, and Kit is that girl. But while she is in that home, she is finding out crazy things about this family, crazy things about the situation. Very thrilling, very spooky. I would recommend reading this during Halloween time, just because, like, I don't know, I could picture this like house and the setting so well. It's so dark and mysterious, and I just thought the setting was really good. I rated it 3 stars. It wasn't super mind-blowing, it wasn't awful, it was a pretty mid thriller. I feel like it's hard for me to really rate thrillers highly, just because, I don't know, it's hard to shock me. Like, I really need to be shocked, and I need things to not be, you know, pulled out of their ass. Like, I want things to make sense. I want to be shocked, but not a twist just for the sake of a twist. But this book was good. It did what it needed to do, I'll say. Okay, the next book I read, I don't have physically, I read it on my Kindle, and that is The Tenant by Frida McFadden. And Lord, did I hate this book. I hated it. Now, here's my thing with Frida McFadden. I'm gonna keep reading her. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop. She literally pumps out 1 million books a year, and I'm just like, how does she have the time? But then I realize half the books, you know, are mediocre at best, and maybe that's how she has the time. She's more of a quantity over quality type gal, but she is good at getting me out of slumps or just giving me something wild to read, whether it's good or not. So I'll always read her books, even if I hate them. There's some great ones, there's some bad ones. The Tenant, on the other hand, not a fan. This one follows, I low-key forget the main character's name. All I know is it's this couple, and they live together, and the man like gets fired from his job because he's accused of something that he didn't do, and they need money. So he was like, let's rent out a room in our house and get a tenant to make some money. And like, just a lot of weird things happen throughout the book, and the tenant is being weird is essentially the book. I'll say the twist got me. I'll give it that. That's why I got 2 stars. The twist got me. I wasn't expecting it, and it made some amounts of sense, yes. But I was just so bored. Like, it was just dragging on for so long, and like, I could have DNF'd it, but I didn't want to, because I still wanted to know, like, how is this gonna end? And also, Frida McFadden books are so quick and short that I'm just like, let me just finish it. And I did, and I didn't love it, but you might. I don't know. The next book I read, I don't have it with me right now because my mom is reading it, and it is The Bright Years, and this is my first 5-star read of the year. This was a book that I haven't read anything like it before. Like I said earlier, I'm trying to get into the literary fiction, and this has been recommended to me all over the place, all over TikTok, all over YouTube, and I was like, I need to know what the hype is about, and I need to read it. And I read it, and I understand the hype. It basically is this story that follows like a generational trauma. Each chapter is told by year, which was really interesting to me, like each heading, different year, and I thought that really helped with the pacing of the book. And it follows Lily and Ryan, and it kind of goes from a little bit of their childhoods to how they met, to their love story, and, you know, the traumas and things that they go through, and then they eventually have a daughter, and it follows the daughter, and it's kind of just like how things that your parents go through, how it reflects into their relationships, and then how it reflects onto you. I just thought it was very realistic and relatable, and I thought it was just beautifully written. Search up your trigger warnings for sure. There's a lot of devastating topics, but I think it's a book that encapsulates, you know, family dynamics, complicated family dynamics, and generational trauma, and it was just so good, and I loved these characters so much. And I really want to read more books like this. So if you have read it and you can think of anything that is similar and up this alley, please let me know, because I really loved that book. And my mom's reading it right now and she's hating it. Don't know why. She literally said to me the other day, she's not a DNF girl. She cannot DNF. She will just stick it out. And she's like, I'm just trying to finish this book so I can get to the next one. What do you mean? That's literally my favorite book of the month. Next book that I read, I don't have physically, I read it on Kindle Unlimited, and it was Power Play, which is the second book in the DC Stars series, which is a hockey romance series. The book took me forever to read. I don't know what it is about it, but it literally almost took me, I started in December, and it took me like probably 2 to 3 weeks to read. I don't know why. So this book follows Piper and Liam, and Liam plays for the NHL, and Piper is the sports reporter. Friends to lovers, little bit of fake dating. Piper was recently divorced, and her relationship wasn't great in any way, and she kind of wants to explore herself, if you know what I mean, and she wants to learn how to be pleased, you know? So Liam is like, hey, I will do that for you, after she asks him, and they make a deal. He's like, I'll teach you how to be comfortable and help you figure out what you like. And then, like most romance books, you know, things get a little intense and, you know, feelings get involved. It was fun. I don't know why it took me so long to read. I am obviously going to continue the series. I really love this hockey romance series. I rated it 3.75 stars, and it was fun, it was good, it was spicy, the characters were great. Next book I read is my second 5-star of the year. 2 5 stars in January, which is pretty great, and it is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I already want to reread it, and I cannot wait to read the other 2 books in the series, even though it's going to be heartbreaking. The book follows a series of characters in this community who loves hockey. Beartown is a hockey town is one of the main lines in this book throughout. Basically just following the different point of views of all these characters in this town, and you're learning about their lives and how much hockey like runs this town, but you're also learning about the ins and outs of all these relationships, and I don't know how to explain it without spoiling. Another thing where you just need to go in blind, and just by the end you feel so connected to these characters, and there is like a tragedy that happens in here, and you kind of get to see how the characters deal with it and the dynamics they have with each other. It's just so good. Again, his writing is just so beautiful, and I thought this story was so beautiful, and like I think about these characters all the time. I can't wait to read the second one and the third one. I wouldn't say I can't wait, they are very sad, and I've heard that it just keeps getting more devastating and it will destroy me. But next books I read also on Kindle Unlimited, Born Darkly and Born Madly, which is a dark romance duet. This is the first, I read the Mindfuck series actually, like a couple years ago. I don't really remember it, but other than that, this is like my first dark romance that I've read, and I loved it. I really did. This book follows London and Grayson, and London is a criminal psychologist, and she gets paired up with Grayson, who is a serial killer, psycho murderer. And they are paired up together, and she is kind of supposed to be his psychologist, but, you know, they're into each other. So it starts to be this whole thing where We find out secrets from both their past, and we find out not only is Grayson a little crazy, but so is London. A little bit on the crazy side. Crazy plot twists, some crazy dynamics in this relationship, and it was just really fun, fast-paced, good. I rated the first book, Born Darkly, a 4.25 stars. I had so much fun with that. I read it like in an entire day while it was like snowing outside, and it was just great. Rated the second book a 3.75. It was good. It just like, I feel like it dragged on a little bit. I wasn't as like invested as I was in the first book, but either way, the duet is so great, especially if like you're in a reading slump and you need something quick and spicy and crazy, then definitely read that. Search up your trigger warnings. Obviously, I forgot to say that about Beartown as well. Trigger warnings. Basically anything, just always search up your trigger warnings. The last book, which I haven't finished, but it is a reread, is People We Meet on Vacation. I read this a few years ago and I loved it. I just watched the movie and now I'm like, I kind of want to go back and read it. So I am rereading it, making my boyfriend reread it with me because he's never read a romance book before, and I felt that this was a good one to start and then we can watch a movie after. Literally have like 100 pages left. But if you haven't heard of this before, this follows Poppy and Alex, and they have this long-lasting friendship over years, and this follows, they go on a summer trip every single year together. It was past and present timeline, and it follows all those trips and their friendship blooming and feelings that aren't being communicated. And something happens where they don't talk for a while, and then they get reunited, and it's just like following their relationship. And the banter in here is so great. Emily Henry knows how to do banter. It's funny, it's witty, and I love Emily Henry. She has a really good mix of romance, but also, you know, the fiction, women's fiction style to it. It's a good balance. Yeah, this is 4 stars. I already know that. Not done with it for this month, but I will be. So those are the 10 books that I read in January. Pretty good reading month. I am back in school again. Most of January I had off for winter break, but I am back into online classes. So I won't have as much time to read, which is so sad, but hopefully February is a good month as well. And I hope you enjoyed my first YouTube video. I will make sure to link my book talk and my Fable in the description if you want to follow that as well. I've been trying to post consistently on book talk, and I'm trying to start with maybe 1 YouTube video a week just to see how it goes. And yeah, thank you for watching.